Hey, good evening. It's Tuesday night, September 22nd, the end of the first day of autumn. We've been talking about the kingdom of God in the morning. Well, one of the elements of the kingdom of God is faith, and we'll talk about that tonight. And there's a story in Matthew's gospel about the centurion where we see faith defined for us. And it's important to understand faith is connected to the authority of God, which is connected to the kingdom of God. Because the kingdom is only effective, only appropriate if it has power, if we believe in the authority of that kingdom. Well, this story shows us exactly the power of authority. This is right after the Sermon on the Mount. It's in the region of Galilee. And Jesus is there, and the disciples and people are following him, large crowds. And he says this. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, which is on the Sea of Galilee, along the coast there, a centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home paralyzed and is in terrible suffering. Jesus said to him, I will go and heal him. And then there's this remarkable response from the centurion. Centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me, and I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. That's his response to Jesus, saying, I'll come and take care of this problem. And Jesus looks at this and he's blown away. He says, Jesus heard this, he was astonished and said to those following him, I tell you the truth. I have not found such in anyone in Israel with such great faith. I say to you that many will come from the east and the west and will take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob at the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown outside into the darkness. He's talking about the Jews who are not believing, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And then Jesus said to the centurion, go, it will be done just as you have believed it would. And the servant was healed that very hour. The relationship between faith, authority, and the kingdom of God is huge. Faith is only legitimate if the object of our faith is legitimate. And in this case, the object of our faith is God's kingdom that is coming. And the centurion understood from what he had heard about Jesus' teaching, what he had seen, he in some amazing way grasped that this was the Lord of the universe, and that he had that kind of authority, that kind of power. He didn't need Jesus to come because he understood that all these things were under God's control. Everything. The sickness that the servant had, the way life runs, it's all under the authority of Christ. Later on in chapter 8, we read about how Jesus has control of the wind and the waves, demonstrating to us again the power of God. The kingdom of God, if it's not based on power, if it's not based upon authority, the kingdom of God is useless. It's just some nice sayings. But the kingdom of God is vested in the power of God and the authority of God. And this Roman centurion, he got it. The Jews were debating all kinds of things. The religious leaders were debating things. But Jesus had authority, and the centurion knew that this man, who was in fact God, was in control of his world. And all he had to do was come to God, come to Christ, and whatever God wanted, it would happen. Brothers and sisters, that's the faith that you and I need. If we're going to be subjects of the kingdom of God, if we're going to be loyal to our King, We have to believe that he has the authority and the power to do whatever he wants, simply because he wants it. And Jesus Christ said that is great faith. And that's what I'll leave you with this night. May we have that great faith that if we do what Jesus asked us, we are participating in the kingdom of God. And that's the most powerful thing we can be about. And that's the way you and I can have rest this night. Again, thanks so much for being here, and the Lord bless you. And again, give me feedback, comments. Great to be with you. Thank you for the honor of being able to talk about these things with you every day. Lord bless. Good night.